Beautiful sunset on the beach with my friends and family. Take me step by step, we'll take it all. Baby, don't you miss it? Don't you miss it for the world? 'Cause I know I'll talk.
Definitely be back next year and other years.
Welcome to the 2022 International Women's Day PowerWoman Network Roundtable webinar. We trust that you would have a great time with us today. Welcome. Now, it is time to meet your host, Oyinlola Omoboye. Over the years, Oyinlola has developed great competence in customer service, project management, and people management. Oyinlola currently works as Business Development Administrator at Rellis Works International Limited, an innovative creativity and leadership hub poised with raising global business leaders. She is passionate about female leadership development, mentorship, economic advancement, and empowerment. She serves on the management team of the PowerWoman Network as the program's director. She is a graduate of economics from the Adeniro Ogunsoya College of Education and is currently studying towards higher certification at the University of Lagos. She has a deep passion for service and has volunteered in different organizations including Speakers HQ, Lead Africa Now, Vida Ninos, amongst others. When she's not on the corporate scene, she's exploring her skills for female beauty. Oyinlola is an energetic, industrious, and gracious young lady who is on a life mission to create great impact in the world. She is a lover of classic music. Welcome, Oyinlola.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and it's good to be here. It's really, really good to be here. My name is Oyinlola Mokwe, and I am your moderator for today. And I welcome you all to another International Women's Day webinar of the Power Woman Network. So, in case you're just joining in case you're wondering what the Power Woman Network is all about, I will just do like a brief introduction of what the Power Woman Network is all about, what we do, and who we are generally. So I would say that the Power Woman Network is a community of female leaders, women who changes like the status quo, and women who are ready for more. Here at the Power Woman Network, we believe that in every woman is an arsenal of untapped resources, which will help them harness those skills to reach greater heights. So that's like a brief of and much more. But I would say that's like a brief of what we do here at the Power Woman Network. And once again, I would say you're welcome to our International Women's Day webinar tagged the Break the Bias. Today we are going to be learning, gaining new insights, considering the powerhouse we've got, like our speakers are they are fully loaded and ready for you, So I would advise that you stay tuned to the very end of this session because you don't even want to miss any part of the session. So stay tuned and enjoy while we bring up our speakers now to the roundtable event. Thank you.
Victoria Vodruno Usman is a versatile human capital professional with deep HR experience across areas such as organizational development, employee engagement, and performance management. Her contribution has positively impacted the people in her space. She understands operations of financial institutions and has developed several programs to keep employees engaged and productive. She has a BSc in Geography from the University of Lagos and an MSc in Investment and Risk Management from the University of East London, United Kingdom. Victoria has a passion for excellence and strives to achieve same in people management. She has consistently coached and provided guidance to underperformers, helped identify their strengths and leverage that for excellence. She is a certified human resource professional with keen interest in productivity. Welcome, Victoria Vodunum Usman. Echika Obijiaku is making a difference in debt collection in Africa through Mwanga. Trusted by some of the continent's leading lenders, Mwanga, a digital-first and ethical debt recovery and outsourcing firm, is strategically collecting while making life easier for consumers. She is a chartered accountant with ACCA UK with 14 years of combined consulting experience as a senior associate with Deloitte and a senior actuarial consultant with Alexander Forbes Nigeria and South Africa. Passionate about helping people become a better version of themselves, her work with building the Wanga team inspired her to also create an edtech platform called Yafa Academy that delivers employers readiness training to early stage professionals in Africa and connects them with global economic opportunities in the BPO space, empowering them to do their best work in addition to her career and business growth. She is involved in a number of social impact organizations, some of which include Ambassador for Lagos, Nigeria Women Entrepreneurship Day organization, a global body in over 110 countries with a focus to empower, support, and celebrate women. Global Advisory Council member and mentor, Staring for Greatness Foundation, a body that aims to provide quality, relevant, and innovative education for teenagers. Trustee, the Bloom Story Organization, a body that aims to inspire less privileged children to manifest their full potential. Welcome, our speaker, Echika Obijiaku. Oyindamola Osi is a global HR professional with multi-dimensional experience across Europe, Middle East, Africa, and Brazil. She possesses over 10 years experience in the development. Oyindamola Osi is a global HR professional with multi-dimensional experience across Europe, Middle East, Africa, and Brazil. She possesses over 10 years experience in the development and implementation of strategic HR processes, people, and organizational development, attracting, engaging, and developing talent to achieve business objectives for diverse multi-million-dollar projects. She has an MBA in HR from the University of Isaac. Oyindamola Osi is a global HR professional with multi-dimensional experience across Europe, Middle East, Africa, and Brazil. She possesses over 10 years experience in the development and implementation of strategic human resource processes, people, and organizational development, attracting, engaging, and developing talent to achieve business objectives for diverse multi-million dollar projects. She holds an MBA in Human Resource from the University of Essex, United Kingdom, and a Senior Professional Human Resource International Certificate from HRCI USA. She is extremely passionate about the potential and the career development of young African professionals. This desire led her to found Career Ready Africa, a career resource platform dedicated to inspire and prepare young Africans for the world of work, building thriving careers and living wholesome lives. Welcome, Oyindamola Osi. Rama Zakaria, fondly referred to as CRZ, is a seasoned leadership, personal growth, and self-affair pundit with wealth of experience spanning over a decade. She is the founder of Self-Affair Africa. Rama is a speaker, trainer, wellness enthusiast, result strategist, NLP practitioner, and an emotional intelligence expert. She has spoken across different fields of organizations, radio, and television stations, interfacing with CEOs, corporate leaders, and senior management on matters that concern self-affair, relationship management, productivity enhancement, leadership development, and emotional intelligence. She is the lead researcher and principal trainer at Self-Affair Africa. A psychologist by training, she helps individuals, achievers, and organizations increase performance using self-aware tools and proprietary methodologies. She is a member of the Genius Academy, founded by Jay Shetty. Her core values include diligence, excellence, faith, integrity, respect, and enjoyment. Her ultimate goal is to make the world a better place and leave a phenomenal footprint on the sands of time. Welcome, Rama Zakaria. Abiola Adelano is a tourism business manager at Sterling Bank, where her main task is to revitalize tourism business, especially within Nigeria. She is a seasoned banker with over 13 years' experience in risk management, strategy, and retail banking. Abiola is a member of the Domestic Tourism and Economic Development Working Committee for Nigeria, as coordinated by Goje Africa and Nigeria Tourism Development Commission. She is a trained economist from the Great Obafemi Awolowo University, Executive Education Program on Sustainability Business at Harvard Business School, CIBM member, Associate Toastmaster International member, and is passionate about contributing her skills and trainings to put down a solid structure for local tourism in Nigeria to become a major GDP driver for the country. She is an award recipient for one of the best promoter of tourism in Nigeria by ATQ Africa Travel, 100 Culturality Most Influential Personality Award 2021. Abiola is married and blessed with wonderful children, loves music, cooking, and building strong and beneficial relationships. Her main goal is to see Nigeria become the prime tourism destination in Africa, and she believes strongly in the possibility of this project. Welcome, our speaker, Abiola Adelano.
Hi, welcome everybody. Welcome, Oyindamola.
Thank
Welcome,
you for having us.
welcome, Abiola. Welcome, Victoria. And welcome, Ichika. Thank you all for accepting to be part of this roundtable. It's really an honor to have you all here. And you see, like it's a powerhouse already, and we can't wait to actually start and learn from your own perception as regards the theme of the day, break the bias. So, shall we begin? So, I would say that okay, the theme for today again is break the bias. So I would like us all to share our perceptions on the questions, from my, the richness in perspectives and all of that. And so I would begin with Oyedamola. You're my namesake. So,
That's totally fine. I'm happy to start off. And
so
thank you, Oye. And yes, you can go ahead with the question.
okay, so my question for the first question goes, what does biases means to you? What does the word bias means to you?
Hmm. Okay, so for me, I would say that I always see bias in two light, and I'll explain. I
Okay.
see conscious bias and I see unconscious bias. So when I talk about conscious bias, it is when someone deliberately and intentionally sabotaging or having a negative behavior towards me or towards anyone, which is means that that person is deliberately doing whatever it is that they're exhibiting in terms of their biases towards me, which means they are not oblivious to what they are doing. They know what they are doing. They are deliberately doing what they are doing. And they're so that comes when someone is being racist. It means that you know and you're deliberately doing it. And I always say that I don't excuse that. I don't excuse when you really, consciously being biased against me in the workplace anywhere. And the second one is the unconscious bias. And this is one that I say everybody's biased. Even me, sometimes, we all have that underlying, undertone, unconscious bias that we are all working towards and all trying to be aware of and make sure that we don't allow that to cloud how we see people and how we judge people. So I would say that, unconscious bias, it's a bit tricky. And based on people's exposure, their level of knowledge, I can excuse that because I would say, well, they don't know better. And I also, but what we can do, so what we can just also do is also trying to be aware of our own. I'm always aware of my own, and I'm like, for example, when I go to the hospital and I see maybe a nurse with tattoo, and I'm starting to look, then I tell myself, that doesn't mean she's not good. So, you know, it doesn't mean she doesn't know her job. For her to be here, she knows that. So I check myself. So this is how I separate it, and then this allows me to respond. So I know how to respond based on the difference. Again, if someone is a bit unconscious, or if someone is unconsciously biased towards me in some area, I can let it go and just say, but you know that what you did. But when someone is consciously sabotaging me, maybe in the workplace or anywhere, then I don't excuse that. So that's it for me.
Okay, thank you. Conscious and unconscious biases. Yes, thank you very much. Rama, are you with us? Okay, while we wait, Abiola, can we hear your thought?
Okay, thank you, Oyilola. Thanks for having me. And it's actually very wonderful to be among these powerful
Thank
women on this same platform. Okay, so bias to me, on the contrary, so there's this mindset that we think that the bias actually comes from the opposite sex, but I think the slogan "Break the Bias" should start with us as women. We actually need to break that bias. We need to own our space. There's this slogan that says that confident women supports other women. You only see people that are not confident or hating fellow women. So when you're actually confident, you will know that the world is actually big enough for everybody to fly. And for you to excel, you need to collaborate. You need to be happy for other people. You don't need to hate. You don't need to be biased. And, most people don't like to work with their fellow women. Women are actually their own enemies in this situation. So when we talk about uh, the bias and all of this, we always think, oh, it's the men. No, you know, cases of in-laws hating on their son's wife and everything, you begin to wonder. You see cases where women don't want to employ female colleagues, saying, "Oh, are you going to be pregnant in so month? I don't want a female colleague," and all of that. So when we're talking break the bias, it should start from us as women, because we are literally our own enemy. But we don't have to be that to ourselves. Confident women actually support other women. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Ichika.
Hi, Oyi. Thank you for having me.
Hi.
And it's very lovely to be amongst this amazing women, like with hot profiles. So, oh, bias for me is basically someone else's perception about something or someone. It's just a perception. And the perception or the bias can be favorable or unfavorable. And I think Oyinda Mola had shared some of the examples that she had. So sometimes even the idea of us trying to make sure that we kill the stereotypes against women rising and all of that is also a form of bias, but it's favorable towards the women. So I guess for the context of International Women's Day, we are trying to drill down what bias generally is, but drilling it down to the biases that affect women, generally. So for me, it's just a perception of someone concerning someone or something, and it can be favorable or unfavorable. Thank you. Hi, Oyin.
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought it was my network. Well, are you still with
Okay,
us?
maybe,
No, you are here, Victoria. I hear you clearly.
okay, maybe Victoria should take the
Yeah,
next.
maybe Victoria can go ahead.
Yeah, go
Yeah, so we
ahead.
can do some time. Okay, so thanks, wonderful ladies. Like you actually said everything. So just so that we are not repeating ourselves. For me, it's not even gender based, to be honest. I always see bias in different perspective, and so I like we are discussing International Women's Day. So obviously the focus is on women, but to be honest, it's deeper than just focusing on women, right? Because you realize that in your everyday life, work, personal life, and your doings, you find out that these things are always there. And I think that the best way to address it is each and every one of us need to be conscious about what we do, the intention and the results that we actually want to see. And if you're focusing on that objective, which is I'm actually trying to achieve something, I want to do something, I don't think we will base this on gender because we are focusing on the results. And obviously, we are using the objective to get the results. So, in that light, you'll probably not even be looking for is this a fit for a woman or a fit for a man. So, I feel that for me, bias cuts across everything that we do, obviously, because a lot of the times also we find out that it can be unconscious because we are not paying attention to it. And I believe that these conversations that we are having consistently, we help people to understand that there are so many things that we are doing in our personal spaces that are actually not normal to a lot of people that some people see as normal because obviously by the time you now start dissecting it, you realize that there's a lot of bias undertone there. So it is us being aware, being deliberate about the things that we do, and ensuring that at the end of the day, everybody is focusing on the objective and the result. And by that time, you realize that the bias thing just naturally just tones down. So thank you all. As in, I've really learned from everybody. So Yolala, back to you.
Looks like Oyinlola is still out, so
No, like,
maybe Rama
maybe
can
Rama. Yeah, I think Rama
Rama
can
can
go
lead
ahead.
us.
Yeah, Emma, please.
Thank you, everyone. I trust we're having a great day, and I must say we've spoken so beautifully. Thank you, Power Woman, for the amazing opportunity to talk about this amazing topic this afternoon. It's an amazing day, I must say. So, when I heard the topic "breaking bias," the hashtag, I was really impressed, and I went deep down to interpreting it in my language, which is Yoruba language, and it simply means "oju shaju." So ojushaju
Hmm.
is when you prefer a particular thing over the other. So it's more like preference for something over another thing. So you're picky, you're selective, you're choosy. So, like what the first speaker said, that she went to hospital, then she saw a nurse with tattoo, and then she's like, there's this thing that would just come like, what was this and all of that. So I can remember there was a time I was on vacation, and then I was in a Muslim country, and I saw a lady wearing a hijab and she was smoking. So the first thing that came to my mind was, wow. And then after some time, I was like, do you know that she might even be pious than you are? Do you know that she might even be spiritual than you are? So the fact that she was smoking doesn't mean that I have to feel like, oh, then something is wrong. She's a woman like me, right? But then I think breaking the bias is knowing that we have to practice empathy. Yeah, it's knowing that we have to practice empathy. So what I see as bias is when we do not put empathy in place. Yes, then we're so choosy, selective, and then we're preferring something over the other. Yeah, that's what I see bias to be. Mm.
Thanks, Raman.
Is all you
Thank
So
you,
back?
what is
Rama.
I guess the boy is not here. We're left to gist
No,
about.
she's back.
He's
She's back.
back.
She's back. But we're
Hi,
happy to
Back.
go
Oyi.
forward. She's not
Happy to
back.
go forward though.
so maybe do you want to start on the second question while Oyin tries to get herself
Yes,
back? I think
yeah, I
the
think we
internet
should.
is
So
kind
should we
of
start from Rama so that it doesn't look like
oh okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
so
Rama.
Rama, yeah, maybe we take from you the second question, then it comes to me being the last person, so that
Okay. Thank you so much, Oyindamola. So Oyinlola is back. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
nah,
The
it's fine.
network
No, we
is
It's
understand.
okay.
Yeah.
We are
so
breaking the
thank you
bias
very
against
much. So
influence.
We're already
I
collaborating,
know,
like
right?
Abiola said.
I
Exactly. This is the spirit of what we are
Rama,
putting anyway.
thank you very much. So I hear Oyedamola say talk about conscious and unconscious bias, and something dropped. So I was going to ask you, Oyedamola. So is there any connection between conscious bias, and is there any connection or difference between conscious biases and microaggression? You know.
Mm. Mm. I would say that there is a connection. I would say there is a connection between conscious bias and microaggression, because when you are deliberately doing something, for example, your behavior towards me, probably you're shutting me down in the workplace. So, for example, there's this boss that is always shutting down someone's idea. And when you're in a meeting and you want to raise your voice and they're just saying, no, we've heard, that's borderline, microaggression, coming to just put that person down and not wanting that person to just, raise their voice or lean forward. And so I would say that yes, there's a close connection between the two. And this is where we don't keep quiet when someone is conscious, because they're conscious, they know what they're doing. They are either doing it because of a particular, it could be race, it could be because of maybe, maybe it could be to women that are religious in a particular way. Maybe they look a certain way and they just feel like they shouldn't be your heart of place. And it could be also, gender, and it could cut across a lot of things. But yes, I see a lot of similarities between being consciously biased against someone and then microaggression, because once you are conscious about what you're doing and you're biased towards someone, then microaggression is going to come in, because you want to do it subtly. It's a bit, microaggression comes subtly on the way, and then you are doing it to that person. And if somebody and someone that is being done to needs to speak up, or someone else, which I believe we're going to get to those questions, or however we can support women, and then someone else might need to speak up and bring that up so that the person can see that what you're doing, it's wrong, and we should all celebrate inclusion, we should all embrace diversity and everything else, that we're saying to have a balanced world.
True, true. Thank you very much. So, which will take me to my next question. Given our considering our areas of specializations and what we do and how we've come over the years. Personally, are there biases that what are the biases that you've personally faced, and how did you overcome them? So I would start with Rama.
Thank you, Oyi. So I remember when I was growing up as a child, there's this thing my dad would say: let the ladies do the cooking, let them learn how to cook, let them learn how to clean, let them learn all of this. They're going to get married, they need it, and all of that. So my mom would ask a question: what about the guys? What if they start to live alone? How would they survive? And it was more like my mom was seeing the future when she was talking then, because basically my brothers live alone right now and they have to take good care of themselves. So my mom went to visit one of my brothers recently, and then she came, she was like, oh no, you need to see how neat his environment is. It's so clean, doing so well. Oh damn, he's taking good care of himself and all of that. So I reminded her and I said, do you remember those days when dad would say women are the ones who need to do all of these things? So it got to a point that those words might just look so simple, but then it was becoming more like, as a woman, there is something you are restricted to do, and there's something you're not expected to even think about. I seldom hear it these days that people say women are meant for the kitchen and all of that. It was so disheartening. There was a time when I don't want to mention name, but one of our leaders came out to say his wife belonged to the kitchen, the living room, and the other room. And I'm like, damn, why would you say this? You know, and that's the way most people think. That's the way most people think. And I'm like, no, we need to stop this. For many ladies out there, quite a number of them are battling with identity crisis because they've been dealt with directly or indirectly. And some of the times, the words that we hear from childhood, oh, saying that a lady belongs to the kitchen. No, you don't say she does because she needs to cook for a man. She should know how to cook so she can feed herself. I think that sounds better for me. Like, oh, you should know how to clean your house so that you will live in a clean environment. It should be more about her. So my first encounter with biases was when I was growing up and I was hearing such statements, and it started to feel like, oh, maybe I'm living for a man and not even for myself. So when I was able to get the fact right that no, I come first, I matter, I'm enough. And then I started breaking free. But then that was my first encounter. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ichika?
Wow. I've had so many encounters. I didn't really where to start. Okay, but I'll just try to run quickly about two or three cases. For the business I run, it's a male-dominated industry, and I've had times where I think there was this time where I was recommended. My company was recommended to a lender. Reach out to these people. They do very great work, and they put a call through and we had a meeting, and I showed up for the meeting because most times those initial meetings you show up. And I remember that when we started to have the meeting, the first question the man asked is, are you the final level here? Like, after you, is there another person? Like, is there an organ? And I said, no. I said, here, aside God, Alpha and Omega, I'm the Alpha and Omega here. And he looked at me and all that. But the truth is, one thing I realized with those biases is then you have to throw in the value card, because most of these people are having these biases with different ethnic upbringing and all that. But the truth is, we are the ones doing the work and we're doing excellent work. So at that point in that meeting,
True.
by the time we were done with the meeting, I could see that he had a different perspective. And this is not the first time. When people come into my team, there was this time our HR invited someone to speak to the team. And so I just came in to join. And, the HR one said, oh, let me introduce you to my boss. And I could see on the man's face that when he saw me, there was this shock, like, a woman is running this. But for me, one thing I always tell women, I said, as a matter of principle, you must always show up and show up correct. Show up correct. You don't give anyone any, opportunity to say you dropped the ball in a certain way. So you throw in the value card. There was another case, I think years ago, when I worked with a strictly white team. It was coming from Nigeria. So the country already, they're known for being racist, right? Now they're being racist, and then they don't even now like Nigerians. Do you understand? So I got into the team, I got all those shoulders. But I don't know. I think there's just this confidence we come with too from Nigeria. Like, I don't send you, I'm coming here to do the work. I got in there, by the time I think I was done within the first week, the attitude started to change. And that's when I said, look, whether you don't like my skin color or whatever, I'm here to do a particular job. I'm not even focusing on your behavior towards me. I'm focused on what I came here to do. And so I'm bringing in value. And by the time I was done, I remember that I got this rating that, oh, you did like an almost perfect job. And everybody just started to give that respect, regardless of the skin color. And I think the final thing I'll say is driving in Nigeria. There's this bias against women that they feel like, these ones, they can't drive. And there was this time that we had to take someone to the airport. And so I said, oh, you know what, I'll take you, and I'm sure I'll be there in like how many minutes. So there was this look about, are you sure this one can move the car? We got there in less than the time. I just noticed that the men in the car, there was just a new respect. So it's something that you face every day, both at work, both when you travel to other countries. But one thing you need to know is when you sense bias, I always say that do not be ignorant of bias. Don't be ignorant. Don't say I didn't know. Don't be ignorant. It's there, but do not let the knowledge of knowing there's a bias that exists limit you. So what you need to do as a person is it's there, but you know what you're focused on. So don't be focused on the person's perception. The person's perception is the person's perception, and the person needs to deal with that perception. You have a different focus there. And if you keep allowing the person's perception limit you, you're not going to achieve anything. And guess what? You are going to make them say they're right. Yes, we told you so. Women can't drive. How is a woman leading this big team? All those kind of things. But you need to know what you are there for and throw in the value card. So you have to do the work to make sure you are bringing in value. Value eventually will make people give you a second look and say, okay, maybe we judged this one wrongly. So yes, there's so many examples, but I think, so that we go around the room, this is the best I can share.
Thank you, Chika. Victoria?
Wow, it seems like I'm
Victoria.
even learning. I hope you can all hear me. Yeah, I said it seems I'm even the one learning from all the conversations that we are having. It's quite interesting how until you start talking about a lot of things, you don't even know what is going on around with different people. So I'll just make mine very brief and short so that we can save time. Um, my own experience was like the very first one that shocked me was I think in 2012 or thereabouts. So it's been almost 10 years ago. Then just came out from my second degree, all ready, want to hit the market, go for interviews. And there was one particular one I did. I knew I did very well. And when you just feel like this one is it, and then nothing happens. And then I started looking for, how to get more information, what's happening, until I got a feedback, I think about a month or two later. And the feedback was, oh, they liked you. In fact, you did fantastically well. But they chose the second person because he's a guy. They feel that as a woman, you will soon get married. Then next thing you want to go off. And I was like, it just didn't make any sense to me, to be honest. It didn't make any sense to me because in my own head, if you've interviewed me, spoken to me, you can see that I have what it takes. Why would you use that singular factor to judge? Because you think that I'm going to get married soon and then maybe start having kids and then I'm taking time off work. Like he just told me that, at the end of the day, right? If we don't continue to push and change the narrative, we will not get any better because the narrative is there that a woman will always go for maternity, come back after 6 months. In fact, I've even heard different stories of when some women go for maternity and come back, they're never the same. I'm like, where are all these stories even coming from? Like their productivity is not the same, they don't have time, they don't pay attention, And I believe that it is all these assumptions that people are piecing together to even make this women bias just continue to grow bigger. And I'm so happy that with technology and everything that is happening around the world today, everybody is beginning to see that you need to take away that gender bit and focus on the objective. You want to get someone to do something for you. What is the objective of the job, right? Does this person cut it? And then continue to work with that objective. That has actually changed the narrative for a lot of women today. Because now, if you even look at a lot of companies, you find out that women are now holding more bigger portfolios, right? Because before, that gender bias will always be there that by the time this woman attains this level now, she will not be able to be. So then let's don't put her. But now, because people are actually consciously working to, tell people that, tell the world that, look, our gender does not, we have been created to multitask. It's in our nature. We can do five things at the same time. And then I feel that the world is not even harnessing our multitasking capabilities enough by using this bias thing to cover up the potentials of women. So, but today, I'm happy that, a lot of times we are now focusing on the objective. We are now measuring what people are doing by, the outcome of everything that they've been asked to do. And then you begin to see that why was there even the gender conversation in the first place when this person had the capability to deliver on this job? Like looking at Etika's example, if she had not even decided that, look, I'm just going to focus on the objective, that narrative will continue to cloud those people. Because at the end of the day, what happened was they now looked at the objective and I'm very sure they will keep asking themselves, why did we ever even allow that bias to be the first criteria for every conversation we're going to have? And now things are really beginning to change. Before, there were some roles that you in the engineering space before, technology, you just find men, 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 investment banking, men, 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 because it was that environment that people felt that no, you need somebody that can dedicate 18 hours of their time. But guess what? There are women dedicating 48 hours at a stretch now these days. Like that resilience is from another space entirely. So the world is beginning to see, and I'm happy that we are talking about it because I feel that the reason why this has really stretched this long is because nobody was saying anything. It was happening and it was just being swept under the carpet. So people were suffering in silence. But the more you talk about something, you continue to create awareness. Everybody begins to become more deliberate about how they are having conversations. Now, people stop and think before they say something because now they are conscious that what I'm about to say will be seen as a bias because it is not right. But before they were not talking about it, the person will just go ahead and say it and they don't even care if your feelings were hurt. So I'm really happy that looking at 10 years ago and now, I'm very sure if I'm to replay that scenario that I experienced 10 years ago, maybe I would have been, in fact, I don't think that that option of okay, let me pick this other person with at even a call. Maybe I would have there and then, oh, fantastic. Can you resume tomorrow? Because now there are conversations around it. So I just want every time we have an opportunity to discuss this, we don't keep quiet because it is keeping quiet that has actually gotten the women folk to where they are today. And now it's
Thank
taking
you,
us a lot of effort
Victoria.
to get to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Victoria. Thank you so much. Abiola.
Okay, thanks, Oyilola. So I will say this. I think I have like over 14 years of banking experience. I've always been a banker. And I really can't say that I've had such bias experience because I try to own my space. And I will charge us with this in whatever you're doing, in whatever thing you've been called to do, make sure that you own your space. Don't be apologetic, be audacious, and in the course of networking, because we cannot underestimate the value of networking and interpersonal relationship skill. When you meet anybody, what comes to mind should be how to add value to people, not what you can get from people. So no matter how great you are, I've always been an audacious person from childhood. You know, like I literally can meet anybody and walk up to you. So I believe as a woman, probably the way you carry yourself matters a lot too. Don't let anybody look down on you. I Be the president, I walk up to you and you're not going to look down on me because I'm going to deliver value no matter how great you are. The first thing that comes to my head is that, oh, how can I add value to this person? And then they will know that, okay, this person is not just a regular woman. You know, I'll say that you should own your space. When you own your space and you are actually so indispensable wherever you find yourself, it will be very, very difficult. I know emotional intellect, we try to encourage people to be more aware about being intelligent emotionally, because before you do anything, before you take any action, are you thinking, oh, if this was done to me, how do I react to this? So as a woman, don't be apologetic. If there's anything that didn't go well with you, please feel free to say and correct instantly. The only one experience I've had was I started my banking career as a risk manager. I was a risk manager for over 10 years. I've never worked in a branch before. I've always been an head office staff. And there's this boss that they transferred to my unit then. He was actually a branch manager. So all his life, he's always been a branch person. And there's this thing about branch people. The branch manager always dominates, like he's the king of the branch and everybody. And meetings, I will raise my hand and say, oh, okay, I think I have a contrary opinion. I think we can do this better. And he's always trying to shut me down. Of course, I'm an Ondo woman. They think I'm very, very stubborn, but I'll just express myself. I had eventually he actually moved me away from that unit, but later on he actually got queried because I knew my onions. As I am today, I'm actually indispensable. I can say that categorically because I know what I put in my work, and whatever I find myself, I put my best. So what I will charge us as a woman is we should own our space, and we should not be apologetic on anything. You see someone wants to enter a lift and you're saying sorry. Sorry for what? No, don't be sorry. Just be audacious, know your onions and know what you're doing. I think I really don't have such experience, so my brief is going to be short on this. So I will just leave us that we should own our space. We should not be apologetic, and emotional intellect should always come to play every time for us. And value is very critical. So when we're saying, oh, make friends, it's very easy to make friends, but are you adding value to people you're meeting? So what comes to your head should not be, oh, what do I have to gain from this person I'm meeting? No, what should come to your head is that what value? How can I be valuable to this person? And when you actually drop value to people, naturally it will come back to you. Then people will trust you. People will begin to say, oh, okay, I can actually work with this person. Oh, this person has been actually dishing out value to me. How can I help? Collaborating and networking is very important. But above all, be valuable as a woman. Own your space and don't be apologetic for anything. Thank you.
Thank you. Oyindamola, let's hear from you.
Okay, hi. I'm gonna make it short. I'll try to make it short because I know that everybody has actually said a lot, and myself have taken, learnings from what they've said. So I'll just say three quick example. And again, I will come from talking about people that I know that it's unconscious, they don't know. And I will start from last week. A delivery guy that came here I did a two-way delivery. You can come to my home to pick something and go deliver it to someone else. So the guy came in and then I opened the door and then he was sort of looking over my head to be like, where's your madam? Like, okay, because I don't, like I said, I will give him a leeway because he came to an area where I didn't buy McDonald's, maybe dad. Okay, sorry about that. So sorry for the breaking transmission. That was just my son. And so the guy was looking over my head to be like, where is your madam? Like, let your madam come and answer me. And I know because he sort of came to an area and he's not expecting to see a black woman open the door and a black woman like being either the tenant or just being the one in the house. And I just told him, no one is coming. I ordered the Karim, like the delivery service. Take this and go deliver. And I said, but next time, you should talk. Sorry, madam. Sorry, madam. So I let it go. Maybe, few years, 5, 7 years, I might not be able to talk and sort of challenge that. I would just maybe feel like, but I was able. The difference between what I would do 5, 7 years ago and what I did last week was I knew he was unconscious, but I still challenged him. And another thing, this happened 2 days ago on the International Women's Day, actually. So in my office, I mean, a team were excited and they were telling the boss that, oh, they landed a consultant who is going to earn $1,000 per day. And the boss, a nice guy, just said, "Oh, what's his background?" And everybody was like, "Who told you he's a man?" And it was a woman. She was a lady. And we wanted to tell him on International Women's Day to be like, can you imagine $1,000 per day? And he was like, oh, what's his background? And we all just looked at him like, can you already just see? We don't want roses. We don't want flowers. Can you just already just see what we are talking about? Then, of course, my boss, which was is the HR director, drilled on him and gave him a piece of our mind. And I was so happy. So the third one is a bit serious, and that's a bit of that's a bit of conscious bias. So that should have been my first project here when I moved to the Middle East. But I was asked to speak to a client. So the client I spoke to my bosses. That was in 2019, and that was my first. I would say that was my first encounter with real racism. So the guy I spoken to my bosses, and I was just supposed to go negotiate and finish off the deal. And I pick up the phone and I called this guy, and this guy just could not. He's a real core hardcore Middle Eastern, and I could see that this guy he could not later, he could not understood why he spoke to men and they're sending a woman to me. But I was the only one on the ground. We don't have a local presence. My office, the head office is in the UK. I was just happened to be living here. So there's nobody, so he could not understand why they sent a woman to him. He couldn't understand why I was speaking to him. And this guy could not give me audience. And this guy was very aggressive with me on the phone. But then again, where value, and I would say value for me, I would say my own values from the values I have set for myself. There are some things I will never compromise on. I don't compromise on my Africanness, and I don't compromise on that I'm a feminist. So I just sent an email to my boss to say, I don't mind if you guys are going to say sack me, or I mean, I said it, but I'm not going to be spoken to like this. I'm not going to be able to continue with this. And I'm not just going to take this. And of course, I told him off on the phone. I gave him a piece of my mind. I really gave him a piece of my mind to say, you know what, blah, 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 blah. I didn't let it go. And I sent them an email, and of course, they knew who I was because we've been working for so long. And I'm also happy that there are also people that appreciate value or appreciate people and are also diverse, open-minded people. So they saw that this was serious, and they said that if the guy isn't going to work with you, then we're going to walk away from the deal. And then they send an email to the partner saying, if this person is going to work with our own employee who we've said should leave this team, then and the guy did not want to work with me. So it didn't end well. We didn't work with the person. But that was when I started. That was my first experience, and I can say, wow, this is real. Like, this is real. What people say is true. It's not like they are saying it. It happened to me, and he didn't want to. Because he just didn't want to work with me. He didn't want to talk to me. He just felt like I was beneath him. It was bad. And but we didn't work with him. My bosses said, if it's not going to work with you, then we're not going to work with him. We sent an email to the partner. The partners apologized, but he himself, he still just could not bring himself to apologize. That was how that went. And I wouldn't take much of that time. So I would just end there to say, for me, value about just knowing what you stand for, and that's period. I'm not going to compromise on this. I'm not going to now say sorry. Sorry, sir, for coming from where? No, no. So I just told them, I don't mind. This might be the end. Like, I really don't mind, and that was it.
Thank you very much, Damola. So I hear everybody say value, 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 value. So it all boils down to knowing your values and knowing how much you carry, what you have to offer. So if you're sure of all of that, if you know what you've got, what you have to offer, you're sure of your values, then I believe nobody, and I mean nobody, can actually talk to you or you the way you don't like. Thank you very much, Rich. So I know you already touched some of you already and some of you already answered my next question. But I would like Rama to answer this question. What do you think women can do to overcome these biases? Rama, are you with us?
Thank you, Oyin. And yes, I am here. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, please, we
Thank you.
can.
Thank you for that question. Yeah. There's this thing that's true. I remember something when Echika mentioned driving in Nigeria. Then I'll go to the question you asked. There's this thing about when someone drives some certain way and the person in the other car is already thinking that must be a woman. And then you move closer to the car and then you see that it's not even a woman and that the person is a man and you're like, well, how come she's doing like a woman? So one day I asked someone, I said, why do you automatically think that when someone drives in a certain way that is not nice, or maybe there's a feel like women they're not learned, they're not skilled, or what exactly do you feel? And that sometimes really hurts once in a while. But then going to the question, what should women do to avoid this? I think women should go big on self awareness. Very well. We should go big on self awareness. So many times, quite a number of women go through a lot. And, when you're growing up, there's some women had to go through sexual abuse, a lot of it, and then it affected their self esteem. I liked when one of the speakers said you should be unapologetic. So I think someone who is battling with identity crisis might not be able to be unapologetic. So sometimes they wear the armor of pride instead of confidence. And there's a thin line between pride and confidence. So sometimes it is not narrated the right way. Women should go big on self awareness. Quite well, I know you might not have a sweet past. The past might have been so rough for you. You know, growing up as a girl child might be tough on you. Yeah, you might have even been raised by someone who was not your parent. Probably you lost your parent when you were a child. But then it gets to a point where you go big on self-awareness and you ask yourself, who am I truly? It is when you know yourself, then you can design your coping strategies to know that, okay, this is who I am. Okay, then I have, this is my strength, this is my weakness, then work on them. You can't be perfect. There is something about wanting to be perfect, avoiding mistakes. In fact, this year I told myself, no. I'm not trying to mask up my imperfection. I'm not trying to make up my imperfection. I am not perfect. I can only get better day by day. And that's how I embrace my wholeness, my essence. So go big on self awareness. When you do that, it will be easy for you to manage yourself. It will be easy for you to manage your energy. It will be easy for you to manage your strength and your weakness. Another thing I feel women should do, the community generally, is women should stop feeling threatened by another person's success. Come on. When another woman succeeds, she's your sister. She's your team member. We should be excited, like, oh, yeah, that's my team member there. That's my sister doing that. Say congratulations. It shows some level of confidence, some level of I am full. I am self full. I am complete. I am whole. I can appreciate you without feeling less of myself. I can appreciate you without feeling like I'm a nobody. Yes, helping somebody else shine would not dim your light. So I think women should be able to collaborate them more, and that's why I like the tagline for Power Woman, which says, "We thrive, we collaborate, we work together." Women should learn to do that. Don't feel threatened by another woman's success, beauty, intelligence, achievement. Celebrate her. That's a sign that you as well you're getting their gratitude. That's anything to you, and then you just hate her because she's just raising the fact we can thrive together, we can succeed together, we can do a lot of things together. And for you to get to that point where you would not feel threatened by somebody else's success, you have to go beyond self awareness. You have to know yourself. You have to tackle and deal with identity crisis and tell yourself all the time that you are enough. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. So, guys, self awareness is key, and you have to always remind yourself that you are enough. Like you are enough. It's important that you know that you are enough. And thank you once again, Rama, and welcome back, Abiola. So, what would you say? What support system should be put in place? To help women overcome these biases. I would start with Echika.
Okay, thank you. Okay, can I go ahead, please?
Oh, yeah, yes, please.
Okay, I will advise that we are big on training ourselves. When you're skilled, when you're on top of your game, you will actually not be intimidated by anybody, because of course, like we've been saying, value is very important. And how can you be valuable if you are empty? So I will charge us that we should continuously improve our skills, invest in ourselves. Paying for this course is not a waste of money. Rather than buying that designer wares or anything, you can actually invest in some self training courses. There's so many courses that can actually improve you. And there's some people, be deliberate about the people you follow on social media. There are some people that when you follow them on social media, you are constantly learning. You are actually improving yourself. Nobody knows it all. Like someone said, we are not all perfect, but you have to be deliberate about self-awareness, improving our skills and improving our way of life so that we can impact others positively. Thank you.
Thank
Hi.
you. Ichika, over to you.
Okay. Thank you. So for women to be able to rise over this bias, what support systems should they have? I'm sure we've heard enough of this mentorships. Uh, Mentorships are very important, and maybe I would say that who you choose as a mentor is more important. People sometimes women go, you go on social media, you see that, oh, this person is trending, this person is popular. Oh, everybody wants, for lack of a better, maybe everybody wants Ibuka Awobishika to be their mentor. Everybody wants, you need to try to pick a mentor that is on the path that you are working towards. It helps you, for one. And then two will be networks of women that are big on supporting women. One of the reasons why I love Kemi Okunkoya, and I'm not saying this to flatter her, is because Kemi has really, she has been a perfect example of a woman that truly supports another woman. And for me, that is very big, because I'm really huge on that. You know that when you are in the circle of those kind of people, they are consistently throwing values to you that help you to rise above such biases. I said earlier, I said that don't be ignorant of the bias. Don't act ignorant. They are there, be aware. But while you are aware, you also need to make sure that your knowledge of that bias does not limit you as a person. And when it doesn't limit you, you can be able to stand up and take opportunities. As a matter of principle, you must show up. And when you show up, be prepared for what you're showing up for. So, the last speaker has talked about trainings. You also need to take part in trainings. Networks that are very big on women supporting women expose you to those kind of trainings, right? You can find some on your own. You can also join those networks that can help you. And then your association, your association is really key. Who you spend your time with, who pours into you is really key. Make sure that the kind of values you and the people in your association have are aligned. There's something I always say. So when my friend is doing something, I throw my weight behind that thing because for me it must succeed. I can't be your friend and your project doesn't succeed. And when I see my friends getting, a lot of accolades, there's something I always say. I say the circle is getting complete. And as a Christian, I also believe that when the good is happening all around you and you're genuinely happy and supportive for the people that are around you, it's only a matter of time. Yours will come. Like Rama said, we have no reason to be jealous of one another. We should be able to support each other and bring each other up. And then women need to begin to speak against these biases. So in my office, so in my team, I have, I would say, over 70% of my top management are women. This was not deliberate. But for me, I found that over time, I've seen those women grow from how they came in to rise high in their career and become more confident, because I'm consistently telling them that no one should put you down because of your gender. You should be able to show that you did that great work. Now, having that support system in your workplace means that you know that even if it's time for performance appraisal, there is someone in the room that is speaking for you as far as you've done your good work. So we need to be our sisters keepers. We need to be able to, wherever we are, be that agent of change. In our offices, have those network of women that are big on ensuring that women are, women are considered for the opportunities that, that they're capable to handle. And there's nothing about what a man can do, what a woman can do. Once the woman has shown that she has done excellent work, she should be spoken for. Networks like PowerWoman, WinBees, there are other networks like that. Join those networks. Your association is very key. I've said that before, because if you have friends that are not having the same values as you are, over time, the truth is that they will snuff out your light. That's the truth. So who are the friends that you are following? And I think the final thing I want to end with is, and I think Abiola touched on it, it's a bit of emotional intelligence. So with running business in a male-dominated space has taught me that yes, there is a place for men looking down your gender. There's also the place for you to, and it's part of knowledge, for you to actually understand how these people play. So you go for networking sessions. Or no, let me use the example. You're going for a meeting with someone that, for example, if Victoria gives me a contact, or this person, I think you should talk to him about business, and Victoria tells me, in confidence that, oh, this person doesn't really like women that wear tight things. I'm just giving an example. You go there with that knowledge, you prepare as you were told. It's just like the story of how Esther came to meet the king and how she took advice from the king's advisors. I'm sure the other girls that were lined up before the king were also very beautiful babes. But she went and she took advice and she worked according to that advice. So just being emotionally and strategically intelligent as a woman, you begin to find yourself being able to play in those spaces. Not don't make everything about gender. And because women can go in and say, oh, he didn't answer me because I'm a woman. Yes, that may be true. But the truth is, if you had prior information to how you could have presented yourself, or you could have maybe prepared your proposal, or what time to call him, this how align and be emotionally intelligent, while you are also making sure that you are coming correct and knowledgeable about the work that you're going to present. So yeah, basically mentorships, networks, being that agent of change wherever we are, in our workplaces, especially in our homes as mothers, starting to raise our girls with the right mindset, so that they actually also have, a smoother journey than most of us, have had. I think that's where I'll stop.
You, Ichi. Over to you, please. Oyedemola.
Oh, we didn't know. Sorry, I didn't hear. I was waiting for. I mean, it's been nugget upon nugget. Thank you, everyone. So I will just add to the bit that everyone has said, which Steve rightly said. So I would say, to the bit that Ejike just said is, saying that pave it forward and be the light. So how can we support ourselves as women? Is to just paving it for you. The knowledge that you should also be willing to share with other women, and also be the light either in your organization or in the circle of women that you are. So it could be as simple as, and this is what I have learned to start doing. It could be as simple as we are in a meeting and there is a lady presenting and there is a guy trying to interject her. And then I'll say, oh, that could be like, oh, thank you. And then just the example, thank you so much, Tom. But I think that Jennifer was trying to finish. Can you finish off, Jennifer? Because you are, or by doing that, because Jennifer might be a newbie, she might be an intern, she might even be 1 or 2 years experience. She has not been emboldened to know how to stand up for herself when such things are happening. But when you start to let her see that you don't accept. You don't keep quiet when someone is trying to shut you down. Next time when you're not in the room, she's learning how to also stand up for herself and also, start to say, "Can I finish?" or things like that. Or that was just one example. So this is what we're trying to say, that as women, we should also be the light, paving forward to other women. And another thing, for me, I leverage so much on community. And I think that's what Ejike was also trying to say by association. Community that are going my way, community that are going where I'm going. There are tons and tons and tons of community, female-led community that are just, bring, like power women, for example. I seek them out. I found them and I'm like, oh, I love what they're doing. And I just connected with the platform. It was what I did by myself. So sometimes there will be opportunities that will come to you. Sometimes you will go to seek out. So it's all every doing all those things intentionally to seek out community that support where you're going, because we are not aligned, and we are not an island, and we are not designed to do it alone. You will always, so by joining those community, then you're going to be able to see, oh, who are the mentors, who are the sponsors, who are the allies that are going my way. And finally, what I also want to add is just that as much as we are saying women, we should all support ourselves, I also think that we cannot exclude men from this topic, from this support system, because we also need men as ally. No matter what we want to say today, the number of, if you look at any report, look at any academia article, we are going to see that men are still, they're still taking the larger percentage of the leadership in all of the corporate world. Look at any report. So we still need men as ally to see to, because some of the men, if we have good men as ally, they'll be the one to talk to their other men to say, you know what, we can this, you can actually see things like this. So I really feel like there are still some good men that are willing to listen to women. They are just there to support. And some don't know and they really want to know. So we really also need men as allies to support, to join in this drive to break the biases for women in the workplace, in our lives. And this is my own bit. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So, Victoria, over
Yeah,
to
thank
you.
you everyone. Great conversation we are having. Um, for me, it's just pretty straightforward. First of all, you have to believe in yourself as an individual, not even man, woman, man. You have to believe in yourself. You are your own greatest motivator, right? Before other people will now start adding the share. So believing in yourself also doesn't just come by you saying, yes, I believe in myself. You have to work on yourself, empower yourself, invest in yourself. I hear Ichika saying mentorship, coaching, training. Those things are empowering yourself and investing in yourself. You cannot dish out what you don't have. So those are the ways that you can add value to yourself. And as a valuable person, obviously indispensable. Nobody wants to dispense someone or something that gives them that much value. So once you are able to understand all this and be diligent in all that we do as women, right? You do it and you do it very well. And then people can boldly say, look, if you have to work with this person, I've had people who have made comments about some specific people to say, if you're not ready to do a thorough job, don't work with this person. So that speaks to how well and diligent people have actually, evolved themselves. And I feel that those are the ways that we can actually build ourselves as women. And as women also, we should discourage negativity. Yes, they will always come, it will always be there. The environment naturally will come, bring all those things, but please, we should be the advocacy for positivity. When you feel that someone is going for a presentation, they're already feeling a certain way, be that voice that speaks positivity, speak encouragement to your fellow woman, and encourage and empower. I am one of those people today that, even as much as it looks like everyone is busy, if someone reaches out to me, I try to find time, because I tell myself today that if I have as much support as I feel I should have gotten when I started, maybe I would have gone further. So if we have the opportunity to do that for people who are younger, or people who are reaching out to her, it just makes the more the merrier. Because if you have more people who are able to do things better, it makes everybody's life just very sweet and interesting. And we should also lead by example, right? You can't be preaching diligence, um, investing in yourself, empower yourself, and you are not doing that yourself. Those things also helps us to boost our confidence as women. And as we continue to do this, I believe that, in the next 10 years, this narrative is going to be, oh, how are women now empowering men, or how are women now making the world better? I want to see us get to that stage. Not how are we empowering women, but now how are the women now making the world a better place? So I think for me, that's just the summary. Thank you.
Thank you, Power Women. It's been a great conversation. So I hear Abiola talk about, investing in yourself. I hear Ichika say, seek mentorship, pick a good mentor. I hear her say, speak against biases. I hear Oindamola say, share knowledge, stand up for yourself. And Victoria also spoke about, believing in yourself and investing in yourself as well. So, okay, Rama is back. So, I would like to hear your thought, Rama.
Yeah, thank you, Oyi. Thank you, everyone. I'm really learning as much as I'm speaking, and I must say this is a beautiful conversation. Okay, what I would say is just to elucidate a little bit on what a speaker said earlier, and that's the fact that I don't want to say it exactly the way the person said it, but I want to say that we should be intentional about everything. And we shouldn't just live like, oh, I'm just here because of this. Oh, I found myself in this kind of situation. I think Abiola said it earlier. No, hone it up. So there is never a time that it is too late to learn something. In as much as we want to bring value to the table, we want to bring a lot of things to the table. For you to be indispensable, for you to be irreplaceable, you must have a great value that you are bringing, that the person has to feel like, where else can I get this? There are some power women in my life that each time I remember them, I just there's this thing about them, like, oh no, when you talk to this person, this is what you're going to expect. There is some kind of peace in the way they talk, there's some kind of audacity in the way they talk. I just like that. And then it says more about their uniqueness. So own yourself. What makes you unique? Yeah. If it needs improvement, we should be able to improve on it. So it takes being intentional to know that at some point then there needs to be improvement in some things, in some way you do things. If you need to learn something, go and learn it. It's never too late. I saw a picture of a woman on International Women's Day that said she got married at the age of 40, had a first child at 43, and then got divorced, I think, at 48, and then became a multi-million dollar earner at the age of 50 something. And I was really inspired because in a society where at the age of 25, 26, 27, 28, you're already pressured, you're already feeling like, oh, what am I even doing here? I'm not even good enough, all those things and all of that. Oh, I'm not married, I don't have a child yet, I need to do this and all of that. So many at times women deal with a lot of pressure from self, from family, from friends, and all of that. And that's why I can't agree, as in I agreed a lot with the speaker that said, choose your friends, be intentional. Now, be intentional about yourself, your friends, your community, your environment, what you feed yourself, what you listen to, what you read, what you watch. Everything you do must be able to add positive impact into your life. Like every day, you should get better and better. Let me give you an example. Somebody called me one time and the person said, oh, I would like to see you. So I asked the person, for what? Like to say this a lot. And I asked, I said, for what? And things to do that. So I was like, what are we discussing exactly? And the person said, oh, I know that you're still single. And I'm thinking we could. I'm like, no, no. What exactly are we talking about? At the end of the day, I made the person know that, see, I'm not giving you time. I'm not going to give you 2 hours of my time or 1 hour of my time. We see it like, oh, it's just 2 hours. It's just 1 hour. I said that 2 hours is part of my lifetime. So you can't ask my cops for 2 hours. You can only ask me because I'm still living to give you some time out of my time. So when you're intentional, you know that your time, your energy, your resources, they are all your responsibility, and you must be very very intentional, deliberate about who you share them with. So what we can do basically is give yourself room to improve, be better, hone yourself, accept yourself, love yourself. You can never be too, you can never be too hard on yourself. You can never be too, you see, I was seeing Oinda Mola as she was talking there. A baby is coming around. She was still trying to say, oh no, calm down, blah, blah, blah. We are great people. And I was looking at her to a point that she didn't miss what she was trying to say. What she was trying to say, she wasn't distracted. This is how powerful we are as women. So it's quite important to know your power, know your value, know your strength. And then if you need improvement in any way, go get it. Never be ashamed to learn a new skill, to start afresh, to be a better person, to change your character. If you feel that, oh, I have some toxic traits that are not really nice, I want to improve of them, please go on them. And when you get better and people come back to you to say, but you used to be like this, your character has changed, is your responsibility. Take it as your responsibility to improve and to be intentional about your life every time. That's the system I feel everyone can have.
Thank you so much, Rama. Thank you very much. That was insightful. That was big. So finally, before we take questions by our women, so in 1 minute each, I would like you to tell us one thing you would do, you know, one thing you would change in your sphere of influence to break the biases in 1 minute each. 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. Etika.
Well, I guess the thing is, I would keep speaking up for women. I would keep opening the doors for women, as I usually would do. Yeah, because yes, we must get it right one day.
Thank you. Oyindamola.
Okay, so for me, I will continue to shed the light, and I will continue to make sure that we present equal job opportunity to both gender to create balance at every level of employment. And I will just continue to stand up for women where I see biases. This is something I would do, and I will just continue to do that.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Abiola. You know?
Okay, thank you, Ida. So I'm going to continue to sensitize women to own their space. And of course, we should be audacious with our branding, with what we stand for. Thank you.
Victoria.
For me, I think the biggest bit for me is being positive. Women need to continue to be positive and also ensure that we are motivating ourselves, right? I see that it doesn't really happen often. Most of the time, we usually want validation. Someone has to tell you that if you're doing good. So I'm more of that person that, ensure that, don't forget about negativity to always be there, right? Positivity is what I want to continue to push that with people for every woman and ensuring that while you are that you are also motivating yourself. So self motivation is the second thing.
Thank you. Over to you, Rama.
Okay, if there is one thing I would do differently to ensure that the bias is broken, it is the fact that I am going to live intentionally. And I was telling someone this morning, I said, I love this year. I love how I'm living my life this year. And that's the fact that I'm living genuinely. I'm enjoying myself. Like I am loving myself more and more. I've accepted myself completely. I told the person to a point, I said, it would take you a lot of energy, or it would take anyone a lot of energy to try to make me feel bad or feel less of what I am. So, what I would do deliberately is to live intentionally, be at peace with self-respect, self-compassion, self-validation. Yes. If other women sees this, then they will know that, oh yeah, it is possible. You can appreciate another person's success without feeling less of a human. You can appreciate someone else's achievement without feeling like a nobody. Yes, this is what I want to do. Live intentionally, peacefully, and then happily. Very important. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Parliament. It's been like a great conversation so far, and I'm sure that everybody, like, we've all gained new insight. I've learned so much. Like, my notepad is actually filled up already. So I've learned so much, and I believe it's the same thing. It's the same for everybody on the call. So I would like us to train our questions. I'd like us to train our questions now for our speakers. So while we wait for questions, so the speaker spoke about joining a community that would support your vision and all of that. And I can tell you categorically that that's what we do here at the Power Woman Network. So if you are not a member of the Power Tribe, babes, you are missing out. So visit our website www.thepowerwomannetwork.com to see how to join the Power Tribe. You can also send us a DM across social media at thepowerwomannetwork.com. So please keep your questions coming. Keep your questions coming. We are ready to take all your questions. Please keep your questions coming. Okay, would take it that there is no question. So, in absence of
Lola, are you still with us?
Looks like she hung a bit.
I guess she's having network issues.
Yeah. Maybe if you give us 30 seconds more and see if she's able to navigate that.
Oh yeah, you back? Oh, she's gone.
Okay, maybe we can just do some recap. Okay, while we are waiting for Inola to come back, I think it's been a very wonderful 1.5 hour talking about this topic. Most importantly for me, I think one of my takeaways from this session is the fact that you have to, value yourself. You have to be intentional. You have to be very deliberate, and then also do not allow what the environment is dishing out at you to make you feel any less of yourself. Those are like key takeaways for me for this session. And the fact that, continuously talking about it helps us to, become more aware of those unconscious bias. Because I think that's one part that a lot of times we don't even talk about it. We don't even know they exist. And then until something happens before you realize, okay, it was actually a bias that was unconscious. So having those conversations consistently helps us to remind ourselves that there are some things that we shouldn't do, and we have to be very deliberate about everything that we are doing. Those things form the perspective, the impression, and generally forms you. And lastly, we have to be emotionally intelligent in everything we are doing. Apply a lot of wisdom and diplomacy. Thank you, ladies. Um, If we don't have Oyinlola back, maybe one of the speakers can also do some 1 minute takeaways, and then we'll see if she's able to come back because I know we're supposed to stop at 3:30. Yeah. So is it Utika or Oyinlola that wants to?
Thank you, Victoria. Really so nice to hear from everyone. I must say that I learned a lot as well. And I like the part where Biola said you must be unapologetic. Yeah. And then I like how she said she's never experienced biases. It was really nice to see that. And yeah, it's so nice to see that. And Damola, well done. Thank you. Thank you for all you shared. But then for me, I feel that I like the fact that we should be unapologetic. Yeah, we should be unapologetic. There shouldn't be anything like, oh, I'm a woman, that position is too big for me. I can't do that. Let me be humble. Let me use my words. No, there's a thing about being humble. It's another thing to be unapologetic and just own up to who we are and accept ourselves. Like, accept yourself completely. So, what I must say about this particular topic today is the fact that I've learned to be whole, enjoy myself.
I think Rama too is.
Oh, network. I think that's what we are dealing with. But I
Yeah.
think overall we've had a great time,
Yeah, we
and I'm
did.
so excited, yeah, that we
Mm-hmm.
were able to have this session. And I'm happy that the network at least waited till almost the end of before I started acting, because I can't even imagine in the heat of that, conversation, content, and
Mm,
this is happening, right?
mm.
Okay, Rama, maybe you can just quickly round up for us. Sorry, you tapped out.
Okay, thank you everyone once again. Echika, nice to meet everyone. I'm seeing everyone for the first time. Like, yeah, it's also nice to meet everyone. And thank you so much for sharing, for giving us that piece of you powerfully. Honestly, I was having goosebumps, like, oh damn, this is my gender. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. It's so nice to hear from all of us. And I hope that we continue to live better, make the world a better place, and also to show the world that we can do better as women and that we're not going to feel intimidated. And we're not going to intimidate anyone. But if anyone feels intimidated by us, we are not intimidated. They are the one who feels intimidated. So it's their matter, not ours. Thank you, everyone. Oyilola is back. Oyi, over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. So, I think my network just decided to be, you know, so it is
We
what it.
understand.
So, thank you so much once again. Thank you. I appreciate you all. Thank you for joining, and we'll call it a day. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Bye.
Bye.
And yes, take care. Have a lovely weekend. Bye.
Bye.
It's a beautiful sunset on the beach with my friends and family. Take me step by step, we'll take it all. Baby, don't you miss it? Don't you miss it for the world? 'Cause I know I'll talk.
And I'll definitely be back next year and other years.